The woman on the operating table is dying. Sister Mary Fletcher knows this, can see it in the gray pallor spreading across her patient's face, in the way her breathing has become shallow, irregular, desperate, in the blood, too much blood pooling on the basement floor. It's 23 minutes past midnight on September 8th, 1940, 12 hours into the first night of the London Blitz, and Mary is faced with a choice no human being should ever have to make. The woman on the table, Mrs. Sarah Collins, age 28, has been crushed by falling masonry when her building took a direct hit, internal bleeding, severe abdominal trauma. Without immediate surgery, she has perhaps 10 minutes to live. In the corner, on a blanket on the concrete floor, Sarah's daughter cries. Emma, 4 years old, shrapnel wound to the chest, collapsed lung, also dying, also 10 minutes, maybe less. Mary has one doctor, Dr. Pemberton, 46 years old, hands shaking from exhaustion and fear, capable of performing one emergency surgery, not two, not simultaneously, not in a hospital basement with the building collapsing overhead and the lights flickering and the screams of 300 other casualties filling every inch of air. One doctor, 2 dying patients, mother and daughter. Choose. Sister Fletcher. Dr. Pemberton's voice cuts through the chaos. Tell me who to save. Mary looks at Sarah, at the wedding ring on her finger, at the photo clutched in her hand, a man in RAF uniform, the husband, the father, somewhere over France, probably, flying, fighting, not knowing his wife and daughter are here, dying, in a London hospital basement. Mary looks at Emma, 4 years old, red coat, now soaked with blood, blonde curls, blue eyes, staring at the ceiling, confused, hurting, calling for her mother who can't answer. Choose, Mary. Right now, this second. Save the mother. Let the child die watching her mother live. Or save the child. Let the mother die watching her daughter live. Or attempt to save both and guarantee losing them both. The building shakes. Another bomb. Close. Dust rains from the ceiling. Someone screams. The lights flicker. Pemberton is waiting. Everyone is waiting. Mary Fletcher has been a nurse for 12 years, has delivered babies, held dying patients' hands, worked through the first 8 months of this war, has seen things no person should see, has done her duty, has saved lives. But nothing has prepared her for this, for having to choose which life deserves saving more, for playing God in a basement hospital while London burns overhead. She opens her mouth to answer, to make the choice that will haunt her for the rest of her life. But to understand this moment, to understand why Sister Mary Fletcher stands frozen in a hospital basement at 23 minutes past midnight, while a mother and child die in front of her, we must go back. Back to 6 o'clock that evening. Back to when Mary arrived for her shift, expecting just another long night. Back to when the world still made sense. 6 o'clock, September 7th, 1940, Saturday evening. Sister Mary Fletcher pushes through the main entrance of London Hospital, Whitechapel, and the familiar smell hits her immediately. Carbolic soap, boiled vegetables, the particular sourness of too many bodies in too little space. It's been like this for months now, since Dunkirk, since the bombing of the airfields began, since Britain started losing. The hospital is overcrowded, always overcrowded, designed for 800 beds, currently holding nearly 1,200 patients, every ward packed, hallways lined with extra cots, the TB ward converted to surgical overflow, the children's ward doubled up, Nurses working double shifts, triple shifts, sleeping in storage closets between rounds. Mary is 34 years old, nursing sister, medical ward C, 12 years experience, unmarried, lives alone in a flat on Commercial Road, 3 streets away. Can walk to work in 8 minutes. Useful, since the buses stopped running reliably in July. She signs in at the desk. Mrs. Patterson looks up the ward clerk, 60 years old, gray hair in a tight bun, reading glasses on a chain. Evening, Sister Fletcher. Ward C? Yes. What's the count tonight? Patterson consults her ledger. 43 patients, up from 37 this morning. Transfers from guys they took a near miss Thursday night, plumbing's out, plus 2 emergencies admitted this afternoon. 43 patients. In a ward meant for 28, Mary does the math quickly. Herself, staff nurse Williams, 1 probationer if she's lucky, 3 nurses for 43 patients, roughly 14 patients each, for a 12-hour shift, from 6 evening to 6 morning. Manageable. Barely. Doctor on duty? Pemberton. He's covering 3 wards tonight. Mitchell's wife went into labor he left at 4. Of course he did. Babies don't wait for convenient timing. Neither does war. Mary nods, takes her ward keys from the pegboard, and heads for the stairs. The lift hasn't worked since Tuesday, something about power rationing. So she climbs. 3 flights. Her legs remember the routine. Her body moves automatically. This is the 4th night shift this week. She'll work through until dawn, sleep for 5 hours, come back tomorrow evening. This is what nursing looks like now, what life looks like. Everyone stretched too thin, everyone exhausted, everyone making do with less. Ward C is on the 3rd floor, east wing. Mary pushes through the double doors and surveys her domain. 43 beds, 43 patients, mostly men. Soldiers returned from France with wounds that wouldn't heal, factory workers with industrial injuries, old men with pneumonia, a few women bombing victims, crushed under rubble or burned in fires. 1 child, 9 years old, suspected diphtheria, quarantine bed at the far end. Staff nurse Williams looks up from the nurse's station. 26 years old, red hair, freckles, perpetually optimistic despite everything. Evening, sister. Ready for another quiet night? It's a joke. There are no quiet nights anymore. What's the situation? Williams hands over the report sheets. 3 critical. Jenkins in bed, 12 pneumonia. Fever broke an hour ago, but breathing still rough. Mrs. Abbott in 17 third-degree burns. Changed dressings at 5. She's comfortable for now. And the new admission in bed 23. Morrison civilian casualty from this morning's incident near the docks. Fractured ribs, possible internal bleeding. Dr. Pemberton's meant to check him after rounds. Mary scans the sheets. Medications, vital signs, notes, everything in William's neat handwriting. Good. Thorough. What about Morrison? Stable? For now. But I don't like his color. And he's reporting increasing pain in the abdomen. Internal bleeding often presents slowly, then quickly, then critically. I'll examine him first. Where's our probationer? Thompson called in sick. Again. William's tone suggests she doesn't believe the sick excuse. Mary doesn't either. Thompson is 18 years old, scared, overwhelmed, probably hiding in her flat, pretending she has a cold, instead of admitting she's terrified. Can't blame her. Most days, Mary is terrified too. So it's just us. Just us, Williams confirms, like always. Mary removes her coat, hangs it on the peg by the door, and puts on her sister's apron. White, starched, the red cross on her cap. The uniform matters, represents order, competence, authority. Patients need to see that, need to believe someone is in control, even when no one is. 6:15, shift officially begins. Mary moves down the ward, checking each patient, calling them by name. Morrison in 23, yes, his color is bad, grayish, clammy. She presses gently on his abdomen. He winces. How long has the pain been this bad? Started maybe an hour ago, sister. Getting worse. I'll have Dr. Pemberton examine you shortly. Try to rest. But she's already making calculations. Internal bleeding. Probably needs surgery. Possibly tonight. Add that to the list. Bed 17. Mrs. Abbott. Burns covering 30% of her body, from a cooking fire that spread when the sirens sounded yesterday. She ran outside, clothes aflame. Neighbors put her out with blankets. Mary checks the dressings. No infection yet. Small mercy. How are you feeling, Mrs. Abbott? Hurts, sister. Hurts terrible. I know. I'll bring you something for the pain. What Mary doesn't say. Morphine is running low. They're rationing doses, saving it for the critical cases. Mrs. Abbott will get aspirin instead. Won't help much. But it's all they have. This is triage now. Not just in emergencies. Every day, every shift. Deciding who gets what, who needs it most, who can manage with less. Mary continues her rounds. Jenkins in 12, breathing better, that's good. The diphtheria child temperature still elevated but stable. The soldier in bed 7 with the amputated legs sleeping. Finally. The old man in 31 who won't make it through the night, Mary knows this, can see it, but she adjusts his pillows anyway, speaks gently, treats him with dignity. By 6:40, she's completed her initial assessment. 3 critical, 7 serious, 33 stable, medications due at 7, dressings to change at 8. Morrison needs surgical evaluation immediately. Manageable. Barely. Mary returns to the nurse's station. Williams is already preparing medication trays. Outside, through the tall windows, the evening light is fading. London spreading below. Buildings, streets, bridges. Somewhere out there, families are having dinner. Children are being put to bed. People are living ordinary Saturday evening lives. Mary wonders how many more ordinary evenings are left. How many more nights before the thought stops. She doesn't finish it. Can't afford to think that way. There is only now, only this shift, only these 43 patients who need her attention. Sister, Williams is looking at her. You all right? Mary nods. Fine. Let's get the 7 o'clock medications ready. I'll find Pemberton about Morrison. He's in Ward B, I think. Surgery consultation. Mary heads for the stairs. Down 1 flight. Through the connecting corridor. The hospital is a maze, Victorian architecture. Additions built over decades. Nothing quite connecting properly. She's learned the shortcuts, the fastest routes. Can navigate half asleep, which is useful since she's always half asleep lately. Ward B. Surgical. Dr. Pemberton is at a bedside, examining a patient's incision. Mary waits. Pemberton is competent, dedicated, exhausted like everyone else. 46 years old. Wife and 3 children evacuated to Devon in June. He stayed. Someone had to. He finishes his examination, notices Mary. Sister Fletcher, what do you need? Patient in Ward C. Morrison. Civilian casualty from this morning. I suspect internal bleeding. Needs evaluation. Pemberton checks his watch. 6:45. After rounds, maybe 7:30. He's deteriorating. They're all deteriorating. It comes out harsher than intended. Pemberton softens. I'm sorry. I'll come as soon as I can. 30 minutes. Will he last 30 minutes? Mary considers. Probably. Then 30 minutes. She nods. Returns to Ward C. Williams has the medication tray ready. They work together, moving bed to bed. Pills, injections, liquid medicines. Most patients are compliant. A few argue don't like the taste, don't want to sleep, don't trust anything anymore. Mary is patient, firm. 12 years of practice makes this routine. 7 o'clock, medications complete. Morrison is sleeping, but his breathing is shallow. The grayish color hasn't improved. Outside, the light is nearly gone. Dusk settling over London. Saturday evening becoming Saturday night. Mary stands at the window for just a moment, looking out over the city. Somewhere out there, beyond the hospital walls, beyond the streets and buildings, life continues. People laughing, dancing, trying to pretend the war isn't happening. Mary envies them. Their denial, their hope. She turns away from the window. Back to work, back to the ward, back to the 43 people who need her. She doesn't know, can't know that in precisely 3 minutes, everything will change. That in 3 minutes, the sirens will sound. That tonight isn't just another shift. That tonight is the beginning of something London has never experienced before. Something that will last 57 nights. Something that will kill over 20,000 people. Something that will break the city and somehow, impossibly, fail to break its spirit. The Blitz. It begins in 3 minutes. Mary Fletcher doesn't know this. She's just doing her rounds, just checking on Morrison, just being a nurse on a Saturday night, just living the last moments of the world as she knows it. 7:43 p.m. Mary is at Morrison's bedside, checking his pulse when the sound begins. Low at first, rising, the air raid siren. Everyone in the ward freezes. Patients, nurses, even the orderly pushing the dinner cart. Everyone stops breathing. The siren builds, that awful rising wail, a sound that's become too familiar. That means bombs. That means terror. That means run, hide, pray you survive. But this siren sounds different, louder, more urgent, and it doesn't stop. Usually, the sirens last 30 seconds, a warning, a chance to reach the shelters, then silence while the planes pass over, heading elsewhere, always elsewhere. London gets warnings, but rarely hits. The Luftwaffe is focused on the airfields, on military targets, on winning the Battle of Britain. That's what everyone believes, what everyone hopes. The siren keeps wailing. Mary moves to the window, looks out, and sees them. Aircraft, dozens of them, no hundreds of them, black crosses against the darkening sky, flying in formation, wave after wave after wave, more planes than she's ever seen, more than she knew existed. Dear God, Williams whispers beside her. They're not heading elsewhere, not this time. They're coming here, to London, to the docks, to the East End, to Whitechapel, to this hospital. The siren continues, doesn't stop, because the planes keep coming, keep filling the sky, an endless stream of death approaching at 200 miles per hour. Sister, it's Patterson, the ward clerk, at the door, breathing hard. She's run up 3 flights of stairs. Emergency evacuation protocol. All ambulatory patients to the basement shelters. Critical patients to remain in place. Doctor's orders. Mary's training kicks in. No time for fear, only action. Williams, start with the ambulatory patients on the east side. I'll take the west. Get them to the stairs. Orderly assistance for anyone who needs it. Move quickly, but don't panic them. What about Morrison? The others? Mary looks at Morrison, at Jenkins, at Mrs. Abbott, at the diphtheria child, the ones who can't be moved. Won't survive the journey down 3 flights of stairs to the basement. They stay. We stay with them. Williams nods. No argument. This is what nurses do. Stay with the patients who can't be moved, even when the bombs are falling, even when staying means dying. Protocol, duty, the only things that make sense anymore. Mary moves fast. Bed to bed. Mr. Henderson, you need to go to the basement. Now, take only what you can carry. Quickly. The soldier swings his legs over the side of the bed, reaches for his crutch. Good, he can move. Mrs. Hartley, Williams will help you. Follow her to the stairs. The woman is slow, elderly, but mobile. Williams takes her arm. Bed after bed. Some patients move quickly, eager to reach safety. Others are confused, frightened, asking questions Mary doesn't have time to answer. Just go. Follow the others. The basement is safe. Go. The siren keeps wailing. Through the windows, the sky is darkening, but not from dusk, from aircraft. So many aircraft. The sound of engines, a distant thunder that grows louder every second. 7:50 p.m. 30 ambulatory patients evacuated, moving down the stairs in a line, helping each other, orderlies guiding them. The hospital's emergency plan actually working, for once. In the ward, 13 patients remain. Morrison, Jenkins, Mrs. Abbott, the diphtheria child, 9 others too ill, too injured, too fragile to move, and Mary and Williams. And Dr. Pemberton, who's just arrived, white coat unbuttoned, stethoscope swinging. Status? He asks Mary. 13 critical patients unable to evacuate. The rest are heading to basement shelters. Good. We'll ride it out here. They're probably targeting the docks anyway. Mile away. We'll be fine. He doesn't sound convinced. Neither is Mary. Through the windows, the first explosion. A flash of light, orange and white. Then the sound, a massive crack that rattles the windows. Then another. The bombing has begun. Mary's stomach clenches. This is different from the previous raids. Those were quick, surgical, a few bombs, then the planes moved on. This is something else. This is sustained, continuous. This is an attack meant to destroy. The building shakes, not from a close hit, just from the force of explosions nearby. Dust drifts from the ceiling. The lights flicker but hold. A patient screams. It's the diphtheria child, 9 years old, terrified, crying for his mother who isn't here. Williams goes to him, holds his hand. It's all right, love. We're safe here. Sister Fletcher won't let anything happen to us. Mary wishes she believed that. Wishes she could promise safety, but she can't. No one can. Not tonight. Another explosion. Closer. The windows rattle. One cracks a spider web fracture, spreading across the glass. Morrison groans. Mary returns to his bedside. His pulse is thready, breathing shallow. The internal bleeding is getting worse. He needs surgery. Now. But the operating theaters are 2 floors down, and the building is being bombed, and even if they could get him there, Pemberton. Mary catches the doctor's attention. Morrison won't last much longer without intervention. Pemberton examines him quickly. Face grim. You're right, but I can't operate during an air raid. If I'm in the middle of surgery and the building takes a hit, if you don't operate, He dies for certain. They stare at each other, both knowing the impossible choice: operate during the bombing and risk killing the patient when the building shakes, the lights fail, the surgical field is compromised, or wait until the raid ends and guarantee he bleeds to death internally. "How long do you think the raid will last?" Mary asks. Pemberton looks toward the window. The flashes continue, explosion after explosion, the thunder of bombs falling. "I don't know. Could be an hour, could be all night." He doesn't have an hour. Another explosion, much closer. The building shakes hard. Morrison's bed actually shifts 6 inches across the floor. The lights flicker, go out. Emergency lighting kicks in, dim, yellowed, barely enough to see by. In that moment, Mary makes a decision. Take him to the basement. We'll set up an emergency operating area. Whatever you need, I'll get it. But we can't wait. Pemberton nods. Agreed. Williams, help me move this patient. They work quickly, disconnecting Morrison from the minimal equipment, getting him onto a wheeled bed. Pemberton pushing, Mary guiding, Williams clearing the way, down the corridor to the stairs. The lift still doesn't work. The stairs are their only option. Carrying a patient down 3 flights during an air raid is not recommended procedure. It's also their only choice. They manage 1 flight, 2. The building continues to shake. The explosions are constant now. The entire East End must be on fire. 3 flights, finally. The basement. It's chaos. Hundreds of people. Hospital staff, patients evacuated from the wards, civilians from the neighborhood who came seeking shelter, all pressed together in the reinforced basement corridors. The smell bodies, fear, the particular tang of terror sweat. It's overwhelming. Mary pushes through. Make way. Medical emergency. Move. People press back against the walls, creating a tiny path, just enough. They find a storage room, converted months ago into an emergency surgery suite for exactly this scenario. Basic, primitive, a table, a light on a battery backup. Basic instruments sterilized and waiting in covered trays. They get Morrison onto the table. Pemberton scrubs his hands in a bucket of water, no running water in the basement. Mary assists. Williams sets up the instrument tray. 8:15 p.m. Morrison's pulse is barely palpable. His breathing is rattling. They're out of time. Sister, I need you to maintain airway and monitor vitals. Williams, you're assisting. I'm going to open him up and find the bleeder, fast and rough. This won't be pretty. Pemberton makes the first incision. Blood wells up immediately. Too much blood. Mary swabs, trying to give him a clear field. The light is terrible. The building keeps shaking. Every explosion makes the instruments rattle on the tray. This is surgery during war. No elegance, no precision, just desperate speed and borrowed time. Pemberton's hands work, finding the damaged vessel, clamping it, tying it off, blood everywhere. Mary's hands are red to the wrists. Williams is pale but steady, passing instruments, following instructions. Morrison's pulse flutters, weakens. Mary watches his breathing. Pemberton, he's crashing. Almost there, almost got it. Bleeders tied. Williams, start closing, layer by layer, fast as you can. The building shakes, hard, the hardest yet. The lights flicker. The battery backup holds, barely. Somewhere above, something massive crashes. The sound of collapsing masonry, of destruction, of the hospital being hit. Keep working, Pemberton commands. Don't stop. Williams continues closing. Her hands shake, but she doesn't stop. Layer after layer. Muscle, fascia, skin, Rough stitches, but they hold. 8:35 p.m. Morrison is closed. Alive, barely, but alive. Mary checks his pulse. It's there. Weak but steady. He made it. Pemberton leans against the wall. Exhausted. Covered in blood. They all are. For now. But he needs blood. Plasma. Recovery time. None of which we can provide in a basement during an air raid. Mary understands. They've bought Morrison an hour, maybe 2. What happens after that depends on whether the hospital is still standing. Another explosion, the closest yet, the entire basement shakes, dust pours from the ceiling, people scream, a woman prays loudly in Polish, a child cries, the sound of terror in multiple languages. This is the Blitz. This is what it sounds like, feels like, smells like. This is hell, and it's just beginning. Mary looks at Pemberton, at Williams, at Morrison, unconscious on the table, at the hundreds of people pressed into this basement, hoping concrete and earth will protect them from high explosives and incendiaries. She thinks about the 13 patients still in Ward C, 3 floors up, too sick to move, with only basic care, hoping the building doesn't take a direct hit. She thinks about her flat on Commercial Road, 3 streets away, probably gone by now, everything she owns, photos, books, her grandmother's wedding ring, the dress she was saving for a special occasion that never came, all of it probably burning, along with everything else in the East End. She thinks about the city, about London, about whether any of it will be standing by morning. And she thinks about her job, her duty, the patients who need her, the work that continues even when the world is ending. Mary Fletcher is a nurse. This is what she does. This is who she is, even in hell, especially in hell. Right, she says to Williams. We need to get Morrison stable and get back upstairs. The ward patients need monitoring. Williams stares at her. Upstairs? During this? The patients didn't evacuate themselves. Someone has to care for them. Sister, the building could collapse. Then we'll die doing our duty. Better than dying hiding in a basement. Mary softens her tone. I'm not ordering you. If you want to stay here, I understand. But I'm going back up. Williams takes exactly 3 seconds to decide. I'm with you. Pemberton nods. I'll monitor Morrison here and handle any casualties they bring in. You two keep the ward patients stable. If the building starts to go, get down here immediately. That's an order. Mary nods. But she knows if the building starts to go, there won't be time to get anywhere. They'll die in the ward, with their patients, as they should. This is nursing during war. This is what courage looks like when there are no medals, no recognition, no glory, just quiet duty, just showing up, just staying when every instinct screams to run. Mary and Williams leave the basement, start up the stairs, the building continues to shake, the explosions continue, the night has only just begun. They reach Ward C. The 13 patients are where they left them, still alive, still needing care. Morrison's empty bed is a ghost in the dim emergency lighting. Mary does a quick round. Jenkins in bed 12, breathing roughly but holding on. Mrs. Abbott in 17, her dressings are clean, no bleeding. The diphtheria child is crying softly. Mary sits beside him, takes his hand. What's your name, love? Tommy. Tommy, I'm Sister Mary. I'm going to stay with you tonight. You're not alone, I promise. The child grips her hand tightly. She stays there, just for a minute, letting him feel that someone is present, someone cares, someone won't abandon him. Even if the world is ending outside, in here, in this ward, someone cares. The explosions continue. The night wears on. And Mary Fletcher, 34-year-old nursing sister, unmarried, living alone, except her flat is probably gone now, continues her shift. Because this is what she does. This is who she is. This is what it means to be a nurse when civilization itself is under attack. 9 p.m. The bombing has been continuous for over an hour. The sound no longer shocks. It's become background noise, the new normal, the sound of hell. Mary is changing Mrs. Abbott's dressings when she hears it. Not bombs, something else. Footsteps, multiple, running, shouting from the stairwell. Incoming, multiple casualties, all available staff. The stairwell door crashes open. Wardens, civil defense, covered in dust, blood, carrying a stretcher between them. On it, a man, or what's left of a man, burns, severe, covering most of his body, conscious, screaming. Behind them, more stretchers, more casualties. A woman missing her left arm. A child, maybe 7, head wound bleeding profusely. An elderly man, chest crushed, gasping for air. Direct hit on the shelter at Hanbury Street, the warden shouts. 30 casualties, these are the worst, more coming. Hanbury Street, quarter-mile from the hospital. The public shelter, Mary knows it, reinforced, supposed to be safe, supposed to protect 500 people. Supposed to. Clear the ward, Mary commands. All ambulatory patients to the corridors. Make room. Williams is already moving, helping patients out of their beds, creating space. The ward was designed for 28 patients. It held 43. Now they need to fit. How many? 30 more? More than that, probably. The casualties keep coming. Stretcher after stretcher. Some carried by wardens, some by neighbors, some by survivors who can still walk but shouldn't be walking. The ward fills. The corridors fill. Bodies everywhere. Moaning, bleeding, dying. Mary triages. Fast decisions. Training taking over. This one burns. Severe. But he's screaming. That means his airway is clear. He gets morphine and basic wound care, but he can wait. This one, the woman with the missing arm tourniquet is holding. She's in shock but stable. Monitor but don't intervene yet. This one, the child with the head wound critical, needs immediate pressure dressing and suturing. Williams, handle the burns patient. I'll take the child. Mary moves to the small boy. He's unconscious now. Blessing. The head wound is deep. Skull fracture possible. She applies pressure. Direct. Firm. The bleeding slows. I need sutures. Size 3/0. And bandaging. And someone find me more light. An orderly, she doesn't even know his name, brings a portable lamp. Another nurse appears. Mary doesn't recognize her. Must be from another ward. Doesn't matter. Extra hands. Hold pressure here. Firmly. Don't let up. Mary scrubs her hands in a basin. No time for proper technique. Just speed. Just enough to prevent infection. Maybe. She sutures. Fast, rough stitches. Not pretty, but they hold. The scalp bleeds profusely, even with minor wounds. This is major. She uses twice as many stitches as necessary. Takes 5 minutes. Feels like 5 hours. The child is stabilized. For now, Mary moves on. Next patient. The elderly man, chest crushed. Breathing sounds wrong. Wet, crackling, fluid in the lungs. Possible pneumothorax. He needs a chest tube. Needs an X-ray. Needs intensive care. He gets morphine instead, because Mary knows, can see it, this man won't survive the night. All she can do is make him comfortable, take away the pain, let him die with dignity. She holds his hand, just for a moment. You're all right. I'm here. You're not alone. He can't speak, just grips her hand, tight, then looser, then not at all. He's gone. Mary closes his eyes, moves on. Next patient, then next, then next. This is war. This is medicine when resources are gone. This is choosing who lives and who dies, and who gets made comfortable in their dying. This is what Mary does now, has been doing for an hour, will do until dawn, or until the building collapses, whichever comes first. 9:30 p.m. The initial wave of casualties is stabilized. 27 patients treated, 8 critical, 15 serious, 4 dead, no 5 now. The woman with the missing arm just stopped breathing. Williams is covered in blood, not her own. Multiple patients. She's shaking. First time she's handled mass casualties. First time she's watched someone die in front of her while she could do nothing. Williams. Look at me. Mary catches her attention. Breathe. In, out, in, out. You did well. You saved lives tonight. But the ones I didn't save. You can't save everyone. No one can. You saved the ones you could. That's enough. It isn't enough. It'll never be enough. But it's all they have. The bombing continues. Explosion after explosion. The building shakes. Dust everywhere. The smell of smoke filtering through the windows. The entire East End must be burning. Through the cracked windows, Mary sees it. The sky, orange, glowing, not from dusk or dawn, but from fire. Hundreds of fires, thousands. London is burning, and the planes keep coming. Patterson appears at the door, face white. Sister Fletcher, Dr. Pemberton needs you in the basement. Immediately. I can't leave the ward, he said immediately. There's been an incident. The way Patterson says incident makes Mary's blood cold. Williams, monitor the ward. I'll be back as soon as possible. She follows Patterson down the stairs, through corridors packed with people, through the smell of fear and smoke and death, to the basement, to the makeshift surgery room, where Dr. Pemberton stands over 2 stretchers, 2 patients, 1 adult, 1 child, mother and daughter. Morrison has been moved, recovered enough to vacate the table. These 2 are here now. The woman, Sarah Collins, age 28, according to the identification tags the wardens attached, crushed by masonry, internal bleeding, severe abdominal trauma. The daughter, Emma Collins, age 4, shrapnel wound, chest, collapsed lung, both dying, both needing immediate surgery. 1 doctor, 1 operating table, 1 choice. Pemberton looks at Mary. His face is gray, exhausted, destroyed. I can't do both, not simultaneously. I have to choose. Mary looks at Sarah, at Emma, at the mother who will know her daughter died, at the daughter who will know her mother died, at the tragedy that has no good ending. What are their chances? Mary asks. Individually, the mother, maybe 60% if I operate now. The child 40%, maybe less. The shrapnel is deep, close to the heart. More complicated surgery, more risk. So, the mother has better odds. Yes, but Pemberton can't finish. Mary understands. Save the mother, and a 4-year-old dies. Save the child, and a woman with a husband fighting in France dies. Either way, devastation. Who makes this decision? Pemberton asks. I'm a surgeon, not God. Someone has to decide, then you decide. Sister, you've been triaging all night. You've made these choices. 1 more won't kill you, but it will. Mary knows it will. This choice will stay with her forever, will haunt her, will make her question every decision, every moral judgment, every moment she thought she knew right from wrong. But someone has to decide. Give me a minute, Mary says. Let me examine them both. She approaches Sarah first, checks her vitals, pulse weak but present, breathing shallow. The internal bleeding is severe. Without surgery, she has maybe 15 minutes. With surgery, better than even odds. Survival, recovery, life. Mary looks at her hand, at the wedding ring, at the photograph clutched there her husband in RAF uniform, flying somewhere over England, fighting to protect his family, not knowing his wife is here, dying in a hospital basement. Mary moves to Emma, 4 years old, red coat soaked with blood, blonde curls, blue eyes staring at the ceiling, confused, calling for her mother in a small voice. Mummy, I want my mummy. The shrapnel is deep. Mary can see it on the preliminary examination, close to the heart. One wrong move during surgery, and the child bleeds out in seconds. Even with perfect technique, the odds are poor, 40%. Maybe less. But she's 4 years old, an entire life ahead. All the birthdays, holidays, first days of school, graduations, marriages, children, all of it possible. If she survives, Mary returns to Pemberton. I can't decide this. No one can. Someone has to. Then flip a coin. Sister, I'm serious. Flip a coin. Let fate decide. Because if I choose, if you choose, we're saying one life is worth more than another. And I can't say that. I won't. Pemberton stares at her, then slowly reaches into his pocket, pulls out a coin, a shilling, looks at it like it's the weight of the world, which it is. Heads mother, tails daughter. He flips. The coin spins in the air. Mary watches it. Time slows. The coin turns, over, 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 catching the dim light, reflecting nothing, deciding everything. It lands. Pemberton covers it with his hand, looks at Mary. Are we really doing this? Do you have a better system? He doesn't. No one does. He lifts his hand, tails. The daughter, Emma Collins, 4 years old, red coat, blonde curls, 40% chance. Prep her for surgery, Pemberton says quietly. I'll scrub in. Mary moves to Emma, begins preparing, but her hands are shaking because she's just condemned Sarah Collins to death, a woman with a husband, with a daughter who loves her, with a life, all of it erased because a coin landed one way instead of another. And worse, far worse, is the possibility that Emma dies anyway, that they chose her, and they lose her, and Sarah died for nothing. Mary looks at Sarah, still conscious, still aware. Their eyes meet. Sarah knows. Somehow, she knows. She knows what's happening, knows what's been decided, knows her daughter is getting the surgery, knows she's not. And Sarah smiles, actually smiles, weak, pained, but genuine. She mouths something. Mary reads her lips. Thank you, for choosing her daughter, for saving Emma instead of her, for giving the child a chance at life even though it means the mother dies. This is love. This is what love looks like, not words or gifts or promises, just this, choosing your child's life over your own, being grateful your child gets to live even though you won't. Mary can't breathe, can't see, tears blur her vision. She blinks them away. No time for crying, only time for work. Williams, Mary calls. I need you down here, now. Williams arrives, sees the situation, understands immediately. We're operating on the child, the mother. Mary doesn't finish, doesn't need to. What do you need me to do? Stay with the mother, keep her comfortable, talk to her, don't let her die alone. Williams nods, moves to Sarah's stretcher, takes her hand, begins speaking softly. Mary assists Pemberton. They work together, preparing Emma. The child is unconscious now. Small mercy. Mary administers the anesthesia, checks airway, monitors vitals. Pemberton makes the incision. The building shakes. Another bomb. Close. The lights flicker. Keep working, Pemberton says. Don't stop. They don't stop. Pemberton's hands work, finding the shrapnel. Carefully, so carefully. It's wedged against the pericardium. One slip and the child dies instantly. Mary watches the vital signs. Heart rate elevated, blood pressure dropping. The child is crashing. Pemberton, I see it. I'm moving as fast as I can. The shrapnel comes free. Blood flows. Too much blood. Pemberton clamps, suctions, sutures, working frantically. Mary assists, passing instruments, swabbing, trying to give him a clear field. Emma's heart rate drops further. Her breathing becomes irregular. We're losing her, Mary announces. Not yet, not yet. Pemberton's hands move faster, tying off vessels, closing the wound. Come on, Emma, stay with us, stay with us. The heart rate drops to 40, 30, 20, stops, flat line. Cardiac arrest. Mary begins compressions, tiny chest under her hands, pressing, counting, breathing for the child. Come on, come on, come on. Nothing. Pemberton injects something. Mary continues compressions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe. Repeat. 1, 2, 3. Nothing. Across the room, Sarah Collins stops breathing. Williams looks up, shakes her head. The mother is gone. They died together. Mother and daughter, within seconds of each other. The coin chose wrong, or right, or it doesn't matter because both are dead and all the choices in the world couldn't save them. Mary stops compressions, steps back, looks at Emma, at Sarah, at the two bodies, at the blood covering everything, at the failed surgery, at the failed triage, at the failure. She failed. They failed. Medicine failed. Time of death, Pemberton says quietly. 23 past midnight. Both patients. Mary removes her gloves. They're red. Everything is red. She walks to the corner of the room, leans against the wall, and for the first time in 12 years of nursing, she vomits. Everything comes up. Everything. The horror, the fear, the impossible choices, the dead mother, the dead child, the coin flip, the randomness, the fundamental injustice of a universe that demands such choices. Williams is beside her, holding her. It's all right. It's all right. But it isn't all right. Nothing is all right. Nothing will ever be all right again. Mary straightens, wipes her mouth. I'm sorry. That was unprofessional. No one's judging you, sister. But Mary is judging herself and finding herself guilty, guilty of playing God, guilty of choosing wrong, guilty of surviving when Sarah and Emma didn't. Pemberton is covering the bodies. Sheet over Sarah, sheet over Emma. Two forms, one large, one small, both still forever. We need to return to the ward, Mary says. Voice steady now, professional, the nurse returning, the human being shoved deep down where she can't interfere with duty. There are patients who need us. Sister, maybe you should rest. The patients need us, Mary repeats. Firm, final. She walks out, up the stairs, through the corridors, through the people pressed against walls, through the smell of fear and smoke, through the sound of bombs falling, back to Ward C, where 13 patients wait, where Williams follows, where work continues, because this is what nurses do. Keep working, keep surviving, keep making impossible choices and living with the consequences. This is 12:45 a.m. on September 8th, 1940, the first night of the Blitz, and it's far from over. The bombing hasn't stopped, hasn't even slowed. If anything, it's intensified. The Luftwaffe is rotating bomber groups, fresh aircraft replacing those that returned to France to refuel and rearm. This isn't a raid, this is a siege. Mary has been working for 8 hours straight. No food, no rest, just movement. Patient to patient, crisis to crisis, decision to decision. The basement is beyond capacity. Over 500 people now. The air is thick, hot, suffocating. The smell has evolved from unpleasant to unbearable to something beyond description. Human waste, infected wounds, gangrene, death. Fear has a smell, despair has a smell. Mary is breathing both. A new casualty arrives, carried by his brother, both men in their 20s, factory workers. The injured one, Michael, has a piece of shrapnel embedded in his abdomen, large, jagged, still inside him. His brother James is hysterical. Help him, please. He's all I have left. Our mum died last year. Our dad's in the Navy. Please. Mary examines Michael. The shrapnel is deep, possibly hit the liver, possibly the intestines. Impossible to know without surgery, without X-ray, without the equipment they no longer have. Pemberton appears, looks at the wound, shakes his head slightly. Mary understands. The shake means he won't survive surgery, not in these conditions, not with what we have left. But James doesn't see the shake, or refuses to see it. You can save him, right? You're a doctor. You can save him. Pemberton's face is gray. He's performed 17 surgeries tonight. 17. His hands are shaking from exhaustion. His eyes are hollow, but he's still standing, still working, still trying. I need to examine him more thoroughly, Pemberton says. Sister Fletcher, can you? No, James interrupts. No examination, no waiting. Just operate. Now. He's dying. I understand, but now. James grabs Pemberton's coat. Desperate, violent. Save my brother. 2 orderlies move to restrain James. But Mary holds up her hand, stops them. James. Her voice is calm, firm, cutting through his panic. Look at me. Look at me. He looks. Eyes wild, terrified. Your brother is badly injured. The doctor needs to assess whether surgery will help or hurt him. Do you understand? Surgery will help. Of course it will help. Not always. Mary's voice is gentle now, honest. Sometimes surgery causes more damage, more pain. Sometimes the kindest thing, the best thing, is to make someone comfortable, to take away their pain, to let them rest. James stares at her, understanding slowly dawning, horror replacing panic. You're saying let him die? I'm saying let the doctor examine him, and then we'll know what's best. Pemberton examines Michael, gently, thoroughly. Michael is conscious, in terrible pain but conscious. He knows. Mary can see it in his eyes. He knows. Pemberton pulls Mary aside, speaks quietly. The shrapnel has lacerated the liver, possibly the intestinal tract. Even if I could remove it successfully, which I doubt he'd need blood transfusions, antibiotics, intensive care. We have none of those things. He has maybe 3 hours, in increasing pain, or I can give him morphine and he'll slip away peacefully in 30 minutes. Mary nods. The math is simple. The choice is clear. But telling someone their brother is dying, and there's nothing you can do, that never gets easier. She returns to James. Your brother's injuries are very severe. The shrapnel has damaged internal organs. In a fully equipped hospital, with all resources available, there would be a chance, a small chance. But here, now, with what we have, save him anyway, try, James. It's Michael speaking. His voice is weak, strained, but clear. James, listen to the nurse. No, Michael, no, they can save you. They can't, little brother. Michael manages a small smile. I can feel it. Something's broken inside, really broken, not the kind that fixes. Don't talk like that. I need you to let me go. Michael's voice cracks. I need you to be brave. For me. Can you do that? James collapses beside the stretcher, grabs his brother's hand, sobs. I can't lose you too. You can. You will. Because you're strong. Michael looks at Mary. The morphine. Please. I don't want to hurt anymore. Mary administers the injection, watches the drug take effect. Michael's face relaxes. The pain eases. He squeezes his brother's hand. Tell Dad I love him, Michael whispers. Tell him I was brave. You are brave, James says through tears. You are. And James, live. Promise me. Don't join up. Don't try to be a hero. Just live. Get married, have kids, name one after me. Promise, I promise. Michael smiles, closes his eyes. His breathing becomes shallow, then shallower, then stops. James doesn't move, doesn't speak, just sits there holding his brother's hand, holding it long after there's any reason to hold it. Mary leaves him there, gives him privacy. Grief deserves privacy. She moves to the next patient, then the next, then the next. This is hour 8. There are 4 more hours until dawn. Maybe, if the bombing stops, if morning ever comes. The diphtheria child Tommy is deteriorating. The tracheotomy Pemberton performed at 3:30 a.m. has kept him breathing. But now there's a new problem. Infection. The makeshift tube. The non-sterile conditions, the contaminated air. Tommy's fever is spiking. He's delirious, calling for his mother who isn't here, who might be dead. No one knows. Tommy was pulled from rubble alone. No family found yet. He might be orphaned like Grace. Might have lost everyone. Mary checks his temperature. 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Dangerous, potentially fatal if it goes higher. They have no fever reducers left, no aspirin, no medications at all except morphine, and they're saving that for the dying. Mary improvises. Cold water, rags. She bathes Tommy's forehead, his wrists, behind his neck. The old ways, the methods that worked before modern medicine. Sometimes the old ways are all you have left. Williams helps. Together they work to bring down the fever, slowly, degree by degree. Tommy's mother appears at 2:45 a.m., alive, burned, arm in a sling, but alive. She's been searching through the rubble for hours, checking hospitals, morgues, praying. She sees Tommy, collapses beside him. My baby boy. Tommy opens his eyes. Can't speak, the tracheotomy prevents it, but his eyes say everything. Mum, you're here? You came? Mary steps back, lets them have this moment, this miracle, this small victory against the darkness. Some survive. Some families stay intact. Some children still have mothers. Not all, but some. And tonight, That has to be enough. The hospital's water supply fails completely. The pipes are damaged. The mains are broken. London's infrastructure is crumbling. No water means no washing hands, no sterilizing instruments, no cleaning wounds, no drinking water for patients. This is a crisis within a crisis. Medicine without water is barely medicine at all. Pemberton calls an emergency meeting of all available medical staff, 8 people total, in a hospital that should have 50. We need to prioritize, he says. What little water we have in storage needs to be rationed. Drinking water for critical patients first, then surgical needs, then wound care. Everything else goes without. What about hygiene? Williams asks. If we can't wash, infections will spread. We'll kill patients trying to save them. I know. Pemberton's voice is hollow. But without water, we have no choice. Do the best you can with what we have. Use alcohol where possible. Reuse bandages after drying them. Ration everything. This is medicine in the apocalypse. This is healing when all the tools are broken. Mary returns to her patients, explains the situation. Some understand, others don't. Some are angry, demanding. Where's the water? I'm thirsty. What kind of hospital is this? She wants to scream. The kind that's being bombed. The kind where we're working miracles just keeping you alive. The kind where 500 people are sheltering in a space meant for 200. But she doesn't scream, just says calmly, professionally, we're doing everything we can. I'll bring you water as soon as possible. A lie. A necessary lie. Because hope matters. Even false hope. Grace, the orphaned 7-year-old whose parents died, has attached herself to Mary, follows her everywhere, grips her hand, won't let go. Sister Mary, don't leave me. I'm right here, sweetheart. Promise you won't leave? Mary can't promise that. Can't promise she'll survive the night. Can't promise the building won't collapse. Can't promise anything. But she says it anyway. I promise. Grace needs to hear it. Needs to believe someone will stay. Someone will care. Someone won't abandon her like her parents did, not by choice. But death doesn't care about choice. So Mary works one-handed, Grace gripping her left hand, Mary treating patients with her right. Awkward, inefficient, but necessary. Because sometimes a child's need for comfort outweighs efficiency. Sometimes healing isn't just bodies, it's souls. Mary notices it while suturing a patient's leg wound. Her hands are shaking, actually trembling. Not from fear, from exhaustion, from adrenaline depletion, from the body saying, enough, no more, I can't. But there is more. There's always more. Hours more. Patience more. Crises more. She grips her hands together, forces them still, takes 3 deep breaths. Williams notices. Sister, are you all right? Fine. Just tired. You need to rest. Even 5 minutes. There isn't time. There has to be time. If you collapse, you're no good to anyone. Williams is right. Mary knows this. But resting feels like abandonment, like giving up, like choosing herself over the patients. And she's spent 12 years never choosing herself. Why start now? She continues working, shaking hands and all, continuing because that's what you do, because stopping isn't an option, because duty demands everything and accepts no excuses. The smell changes. Smoke, strong, acrid, not the distant smoke that's been present all night. Close smoke, inside the building smoke. Someone shouts from the stairwell. Fire! Upper floors. It's spreading. Panic ripples through the basement. 500 people. One exit. The mathematics of fire and crowd crush are deadly. Remain calm. Pemberton's voice cuts through rising hysteria. Stay where you are. Staff to me. The medical staff gathers. Pemberton speaks quickly. The fire is on the 4th floor. Incendiary bomb. Fire brigade is en route, but their overwhelmed entire city is burning. We need to organize a bucket brigade. Who's able-bodied? 20 men volunteer. Hospital orderlies, patients who can walk, civil defense wardens. They form a line from the basement to the 4th floor, passing buckets of water, precious water from hand to hand. It's not enough. It's never enough. But it's what they have. Mary stays with the patients, keeps them calm, prevents panic. The fire is being handled. You're safe here. The basement is reinforced. Fire can't reach us. She doesn't know if that's true. Suspects it isn't. Fire finds ways. Heat finds ways. Smoke finds ways. But saying it helps. People need to hear it, need to believe it, need to pretend safety exists. The bucket brigade works for 90 minutes. 90 minutes of passing water. The fire slowly comes under control, not extinguished, just contained. Smoke damage throughout the upper floors. But the building holds. The men return to the basement, exhausted, hands blistered, faces blackened, clothes burned, but alive. The building is alive. Small victories. They count 2. A new casualty. Boy, age 12, name is Peter, crushed legs, brought in by a stranger who found him under rubble. The stranger leaves immediately, has his own family to find. Peter is alone, conscious, in terrible pain. Both legs are shattered below the knee. Pemberton examines him, takes Mary aside. He'll lose both legs, no question. We don't have the equipment, the antibiotics, the surgical capability to save them. I can amputate, give him a chance at life. But double amputee, at age 12, he doesn't finish, doesn't need to. The question is clear. Is that a life worth saving? Is living as a double amputee worse than dying whole? Mary is furious, actually angry, at Pemberton, at the question, at the universe for creating situations where this is even a question. You're asking if a disabled life is worth living? I'm asking if a 12-year-old boy can survive the trauma, the surgeries, the recovery, the future. If we can even provide adequate care, we save him, we amputate, we give him a chance. The rest is up to him, but we don't decide his life isn't worth living because it'll be harder. Pemberton nods slowly. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm so tired I'm not thinking clearly. None of us are. They prepare Peter for surgery, explain what's happening. He understands. 12 years old and facing losing both legs, and he understands. Will I die? He asks. Not if we can help it, Mary says. Will it hurt? We'll give you medicine for the pain. After? When I wake up? Yes. It will hurt after, for a while, but it will get better, and you'll learn to manage. You'll adapt. You're young, strong. You'll surprise yourself. I wanted to be a footballer, Peter says quietly. Play for Arsenal. That's stupid now. It's not stupid. Dreams are never stupid. Mary takes his hand. You'll find new dreams, different dreams, but dreams nonetheless, I promise. Peter nods. Doesn't look convinced, but accepts it. What choice does he have? The surgery takes 45 minutes. Both legs, below the knee. Pemberton works fast, rough, but effective. Peter survives the surgery. When he wakes, he doesn't cry, doesn't scream, just stares at the space where his legs should be, silent, processing. Mary sits with him. I'm here. Whatever you need, I'm here. He doesn't respond, just stares and stares and stares. Some wounds don't bleed. Some amputations are invisible. The loss of a dream, of a future, of the person you thought you'd be. Those wounds take longer to heal. Sometimes they never do. The bombing begins to slow. Not stop, just slow. Fewer explosions. Longer gaps between them. Someone says, "It's almost over." No one believes it. Everyone hopes it. The night has lasted 11 hours. 11 hours of hell. 11 hours of making impossible choices. 11 hours of death and survival and everything in between. Mary checks her watch. 5:47 a.m. Sunrise is at 6:30 a.m. If they can survive 43 more minutes, they'll see morning. Mary thinks about Michael, who died holding his brother's hand, about Tommy's fever, finally broken at 4:30 a.m., about Peter, who will wake up every day for the rest of his life knowing his legs are gone, about Grace, still gripping her hand, about the 37 dead from Ward C, about Sarah and Emma and the coin flip, about all of it. And she thinks, how do I do this again tomorrow night? Because they will come back. The bombers, tonight, tomorrow, every night. This isn't over. This is just beginning. How do you survive the beginning when you know there's no end in sight? The answer, you don't think about tomorrow. Just survive today. This hour, this minute, this second. One breath, then another, then another. That's all survival is. Breath by breath, moment by moment, choice by choice. And the choice, right now, is to keep working, keep standing, keep being Sister Mary Fletcher, even when Sister Mary Fletcher is breaking apart inside. It sounds, that rising and falling note, the sound everyone's been waiting for, the sound that means it's over, you survived. For a long moment, no one moves, no one speaks, no one believes it. Then, slowly, sound returns, people crying, laughing, praying, some screaming with relief, some collapsing, some just staring at nothing, unable to process that they're still alive. Mary doesn't move, still standing in the same spot, Grace still gripping her hand, Williams beside her, Pemberton nearby, all of them frozen. 11 hours. Over 500 people sheltered in this basement, over 150 casualties treated, over 40 surgeries performed, 37 dead in Ward C, plus Michael, plus 14 others who died during treatment, plus uncounted others who died before reaching the hospital, and 83 lives saved, maybe more, patients who walked out, who were treated and survived, who made it to morning. The math is terrible, brutal, insufficient. But they made it. They survived, and that has to count for something. Pemberton speaks first. All staff, 8-hour rest. That's an order. Be back by 2 p.m. We'll need to reorganize, resupply, prepare. For tonight? Williams asks. No one answers. Because they all know, yes, for tonight, and tomorrow night, and every night after, this is war now. This is the Blitz. This is the new reality. Mary releases Grace's hand gently. I need to go home for a few hours, but I'll be back. I promise. You promised before? You said you wouldn't leave? I'm not leaving. I'm resting so I can come back and help more people. Like you, like Tommy, like everyone who needs me. Grace nods slowly, doesn't look convinced, but accepts it. What choice does she have? A nurse from the day shift, Mary doesn't know her name, takes Grace's hand. I'll watch her while you're gone. Mary nods gratefully. Turns to Williams. Walk together, please. They climb the stairs, out of the basement, up through the damaged hospital, to the main entrance, and out into the morning. The light is wrong. That's Mary's first thought. The morning light is orange-gray when it should be blue-gold. The sun is rising somewhere behind the smoke, somewhere beyond the fires. But it's filtered, dimmed, like the apocalypse has a color scheme. Mary and Williams stand on the hospital steps. Neither speaks. Both stare. The East End is gone. Not damaged, not wounded, gone. Where buildings stood yesterday, there is rubble. Where streets ran, there are craters. Where lives happened, there is nothing. The docks a quarter-mile away are a sea of fire. Flames hundreds of feet high, black smoke pouring into the sky. The Thames itself seems to be burning. Oil slicks, ignited by incendiary bombs, turn the river into a ribbon of fire. Buildings that still stand are hollowed out. Facades intact but interiors gutted. Windows blown out like empty eye sockets, staring at nothing. The smell is overwhelming. Burning wood, burning rubber, burning flesh, though no one will say that aloud. Chemical fires, gas leaks, death. The city smells of death. And the sound, or lack of it, London should be waking up. Morning traffic, people starting their days, the city coming alive. Instead, silence, broken only by distant sirens, by the crackle of fires, by the occasional sound of collapsing buildings, by survivors calling out names. Henry, Margaret, has anyone seen my daughter? William starts to cry. Silent tears. She doesn't wipe them away, just lets them fall. Mary wants to cry too, wants to collapse, wants to scream at the sky, at God, at whoever is responsible for this, at the universe itself. But she doesn't, can't, because if she starts, she won't stop. And there's work ahead. Rest, then return, then tonight, then tomorrow, then every day after. So she stands, dry-eyed, frozen, watching her city burn. My street is that way, William says, pointing east, toward the worst of the fires. Stepney, I should go check. I'll come with you. No, you need to check your own flat. We'll meet back here at 2. Williams, if it's gone, it's gone. I need to see it myself. You understand? Mary understands. Some things you have to witness alone. Some devastation is too private to share. They separate. Williams heading east, Mary heading west, both walking through a landscape that resembles the moon more than London. Commercial Road, Mary Street. She's walked this route thousands of times, could navigate it with her eyes closed. Except everything is different now. The landmarks are gone. The bakery where she bought bread vanished. The pub where she sometimes had a drink on Friday evenings a crater. The post office still standing, but every window blown out. The church roof collapsed, walls cracked, the cross bent at an impossible angle, but somehow still attached. She passes survivors, families sitting on curbs, staring at nothing. An old woman is sweeping the front step of a house that no longer has a front, sweeping broken glass into a pile. As if normalcy can be restored through routine, a man is digging through rubble with his bare hands, blood streaming from his palms. Annie, he calls. Annie, can you hear me? Annie. Mary stops. Can I help? He looks at her, doesn't see her, looks through her. My wife? She was home. I was at work, civil defense. I told her to go to the shelter, but she never liked the shelters. Said they were too crowded. Stayed home. And now he returns to digging. Mary helps. They dig together, moving bricks, lifting beams, searching. They find her after 10 minutes. Annie, crushed, dead. The man cradles her body, doesn't speak, doesn't cry, just holds her, rocking slowly. Mary stays for a moment, then leaves, because there's nothing else to do. Annie is gone. The man is destroyed. All the medicine in the world can't fix this. She continues walking. A young boy, maybe 9, is pulling a wagon. Inside, belongings, a blanket, some clothes, a teddy bear, a photograph frame, everything he owns, everything he saved. Where are you going? Mary asks. Don't know, miss. Somewhere. Anywhere not here. Where are your parents? Dead, miss. Building collapsed. I dug myself out, but they didn't. You should come to the hospital. We have food, shelter, people who can help. I'm all right, miss. I'll manage. He pulls the wagon onward. A 9-year-old orphan walking through the apocalypse with a teddy bear and no destination. Mary watches him go, wants to follow, to insist, to save him. But she can't save everyone, can barely save anyone. The city is full of orphan children now, thousands of them, all walking, all managing, all surviving alone. Number 18, Commercial Road, still standing. The miracle continues. But the building next to it, number 19, is completely gone, just a crater. The building on the other side, number 17, has collapsed into itself, a pile of bricks and beams and broken lives. Number 18 stands alone, an island of survival in a sea of destruction. Mary enters. The stairwell is darker than before, more plaster fallen, steps cracked, but passable. Second floor, her door, number 18B. She opens it. Everything is more damaged than she remembered from last time. Or maybe it's that she's more aware now, more able to see clearly. The kitchen window has blown in completely, glass covering every surface. The icebox has fallen over. What little food she had is spoiled. The table is overturned, chairs broken. The bedroom is worse. The ceiling has partially collapsed, plaster and lathe hanging down like stalactites. Her bed is buried under debris. The wardrobe has toppled, clothes scattered and torn. The bathroom mirror has shattered. 7 years bad luck, they say. Mary laughs. Actually laughs. Because what's 7 years compared to last night? What's 7 years compared to infinity? She walks through the flat, room by room, cataloging damage, salvaging what she can. Her nursing certificates framed on the wall are intact. The glass is cracked, but the papers are fine. Her mother's photograph still on the floor where she found it before, still intact. She picks it up, looks at the young woman in the picture. Her mother, dead at 23 from Spanish flu. Never knew her daughter would grow up, would become a nurse, would survive a war, would save lives. Would it matter to her? Would she be proud? Or would she think Mary foolish for staying, for risking her life for strangers? Mary doesn't know, will never know. The dead keep their opinions to themselves. She finds her grandmother's wedding ring, tucked in a drawer that somehow remained closed. The ring is silver, simple, a single small diamond, the only jewelry Mary owns, the only material connection to her family. She puts it on. Third finger, right hand, not the traditional placement, but nothing is traditional anymore. Mary clears the debris from her bed, finds a corner of mattress that's relatively clean, lies down, closes her eyes, opens them. The ceiling stares back at her. Cracked, water-stained, pieces hanging down. She closes her eyes again, sees Sarah and Emma, lying on stretchers, dying, the coins spinning in the air, landing, tails, The daughter opens her eyes, closes them, sees Peter's face. The moment he realized his legs were gone, the silent scream in his eyes, opens them, closes them, sees Michael squeezing his brother's hand. Tell Dad I was brave. Opens them. She can't sleep, can't even rest. Her body is exhausted, but her mind won't stop, won't let her forget, won't release her. This is trauma. She knows this clinically, understands it intellectually. The inability to shut down, the replaying of horrors, the body holding tension even when the danger has passed. Knowing what it is doesn't help, doesn't stop it. She lies there for 2 hours, not sleeping, not resting, just lying, staring at the cracked ceiling, counting her breaths, in and out, in and out. Mary sits up, knows she won't sleep, knows she can't stay here. Too many ghosts, too many memories, from a life that feels ancient now. Last night killed more than people. It killed the person Mary was before. She thinks about not going back, about walking away, about becoming like that 9-year-old boy with the wagon, taking what she can carry and just leaving, walking, going somewhere the bombs aren't. She could. No one would blame her. She's done her duty, stayed through the first night, saved dozens of lives. That's enough, more than enough. Except it isn't, because Williams will go back, Pemberton will go back, the day shift is already there, someone has to staff the hospital, someone has to stay, someone has to be there when the bombers return tonight, and Mary knows with terrible certainty they will return. This isn't over. This is just beginning. The Luftwaffe tasted blood, tasted success. They dropped bombs on London, and London didn't strike back, couldn't strike back. The RAF is defending airfields. Fighter command is engaged elsewhere. London is helpless. They'll come back. Tonight, tomorrow, every night. And when they do, people will need help, will need nurses, will need someone who stays when staying means dying. Mary stands, makes her decision, not because she wants to, because she has to, because duty isn't optional, because if she doesn't go back, she'll spend the rest of her life knowing she walked away, and that's a weight she can't carry. Better to carry the weight of staying, of witnessing, of making impossible choices. Better to carry Sarah and Emma and Michael and Peter than to carry cowardice. She changes into her clean uniform, white, starched, the red cross on her cap, the symbol of healing. Looks at herself in the broken mirror. Still looks ancient, still hollow-eyed, still gray-faced, but she's standing. She's dressed. She's ready, ready to go back, ready to do it again, ready to survive another night, or not survive. That's possible too. But she'll be there. She'll stay. She'll do her duty. Because that's what Sister Mary Fletcher does. That's who she is. Mary packs a small bag. Extra uniform. Some bread, stale but edible. A thermos of water boiled. Precious. Her mother's photograph. Her grandmother's ring, already on her finger. She looks around the flat one last time. Wonders if she'll see it again. Wonders if it'll still be standing tomorrow. Wonders if she'll still be alive to care. Realizes she doesn't care about the flat, the things, the belongings. They're just objects, replaceable, meaningless. The only thing that matters is the work, the patience, the duty. Everything else is noise. She leaves, locks the door, a symbolic gesture, as if locks matter when the building could be rubble by morning. But the gesture matters to her, pretending normalcy still exists, pretending there's something to come home to, pretending hope is reasonable. Williams is already there, sitting on the hospital steps, staring at nothing, Mary sits beside her, doesn't ask, doesn't need to. William's face tells the story. Her street is gone, her flat is gone, everything is gone. They sit together, silent, two nurses, two survivors, two women who chose to stay. After 10 minutes, William speaks. I have nothing left, no home, no belongings, nothing. Just this uniform and the clothes underneath. You have your skills, your knowledge, your hands. That's more than most people have right now. Is it enough? It has to be. They sit longer, watching other staff arrive. Doctors, nurses, orderlies, all looking like ghosts, all coming back anyway, all choosing duty over survival. This is what courage looks like. Not soldiers charging into battle, not pilots flying into danger. Just this, showing up, coming back, doing the work, even when the work is destroying you. Pemberton gathers all available staff, 23 people, in a hospital that should have 100. Status report, he begins. Ward C is unusable. Fire damage and structural concerns. We're consolidating all patients into Ward A and Ward B. Basement remains our primary treatment facility. All surgeries will be performed there. Supply status, critical. We received an emergency delivery this morning. Morphine, bandages, some surgical supplies, enough for maybe tonight. Maybe. Water service is partially restored to the ground floor only. We'll need to bucket brigade it to the basement. Staffing. We've called in everyone, every available nurse, doctor, orderly. We have 23 staff for the evening shift. That's for the entire hospital. Casualty projection. Last night we treated 153 casualties. Tonight, the civil defense estimates it could be double, triple. They're expecting another major raid. Someone laughs, bitter, broken. Of course they are. Pemberton continues. I know you're all exhausted. I know you've seen things no one should see. I know you want to run. Hell, I want to run. But we're all that's standing between this city and complete collapse, so we stay. We work. We save who we can. He pauses, looks at each person. Anyone who wants to leave, leave now. No judgment, no shame. You've done enough, more than enough. No one moves, not one person. 23 staff, 23 traumatized, exhausted, terrified people, and not one walks away. All right then, Pemberton says quietly. Let's get to work. The sirens sound again. Mary is in the basement, setting up for the night, organizing supplies, preparing beds, trying to be ready for what's coming. The sound stops her, that wail, that warning, that promise of hell returning. Around her, people freeze. Patients, staff, everyone. The fear is palpable, thick, suffocating, because now they know. Now they've experienced it. Now they understand what's coming. Last night was the unknown. Tonight is the known, and the known is worse. Basement protocol, Pemberton shouts. All patients down, all staff to positions. The organized chaos begins again. Patients moving, equipment being positioned, staff taking places. Mary finds her spot. Same as last night, next to the makeshift surgery, Williams beside her, Grace still here, no family found gripping her hand again. Through the basement windows, small, high up, Mary sees the sky darkening, not from dusk, from aircraft, hundreds of them. Again, more than last night, many more. The first bombs begin to fall at 6:50 p.m. The building shakes, the lights flicker, and Mary thinks, here we go again. Except this time, she knows what's coming, knows the casualties, the choices, the deaths. the impossibility of it all. This time, there's no innocence, no hope that it won't be that bad, only certainty that it will be exactly that bad, probably worse. They come faster than last night, more organized, civil defense learned, set up triage points closer to the hospital, faster transport. The first wave brings 30 casualties, all severe, burns, crush injuries, shrapnel wounds, missing limbs, the full horror show. Mary triages, fast decisions, training taking over. This one needs surgery. This one needs stabilization. This one needs comfort care. This one is dead cover and move on. No time for emotion, no time for thought, just work, just movement, just the next patient and the next and the next. Williams is beside her, moving just as fast, just as efficiently. Yesterday she was overwhelmed. Today she's competent. Terror forges skills faster than any training. Tommy, the diphtheria child with the tracheotomy, returns with his mother. She's bringing him back to the hospital, too afraid to keep him home, too afraid of another night in their damaged building. Please, she begs Mary, please keep him here. Keep him safe. I know you have too many patients. I know you're overwhelmed. But please. Mary looks at Tommy, at his mother, at the desperation in both their faces. They have no beds, no space, no resources. They're already beyond capacity. Of course, Mary says, he can stay. Both of you can. Because what else can she say? Because Tommy survived her care last night. Because some things matter more than capacity numbers. Because sometimes you say yes even when yes is impossible. The building takes another hit. Not the east wing this time, the west wing, the part that was still intact. The crash is enormous. The building shudders. Dust pours from the ceiling. Someone screams, "It's coming down." But it doesn't come down, doesn't collapse, just loses another piece, another chunk of structure, another fragment of hospital. How many pieces can a building lose before it's no longer a building? How many nights can it survive before survival becomes impossible? Mary doesn't know. Suspects they'll find out soon. During a brief lull, 20 minutes without new casualties, Mary sits with Grace. The child hasn't left her side all evening. Sister Mary? Yes, sweetheart? Are my parents really dead? The question is direct, simple, devastating. Mary could soften it, could say, "I don't know," or "There's still hope," or any of the comforting lies adults tell children. But Grace deserves truth, even painful truth. "Yes, darling, I'm so sorry. They died in the bombing. When your building collapsed, they died protecting you. You were found in your father's arms. He kept you safe even when he couldn't save himself." Grace nods, doesn't cry, has cried enough already. What happens to me now? When this is over, when the bombing stops, we'll find your family. Aunts, uncles, grandparents, someone who can take care of you. What if there's no one? Then we'll find someone else, a good family who wants to help. You won't be alone, I promise. You promise a lot of things, Sister Mary. Do you keep them? The question is pointed, accusatory, fair. Mary thinks about the promises she made yesterday, to stay, to help, to keep everyone safe. Promises she couldn't keep, because no one can keep promises during war, during the Blitz, during hell. I try, Mary says honestly. I don't always succeed, but I always try. That's all anyone can do. Grace considers this, then nods, accepts it. That's good enough. Is it? Mary doesn't know, suspects it isn't, suspects nothing will ever be good enough again. But she takes the forgiveness anyway, because she needs it, because carrying guilt and shame and failure is heavy enough without adding the judgment of a 7-year-old child. Mary finds Williams in the supply closet, crying, actually sobbing, broken. "I can't do this again," Williams says. "I can't. Every time I close my eyes, I see them. The ones we couldn't save, Sarah, Emma, Michael, all of them. And I know tonight there will be more. Tomorrow more. Every night more." When does it stop? Mary sits beside her, doesn't have answers, doesn't have comfort, just presence. "It doesn't stop," Mary says quietly. "Not for a while, maybe not for a long while. So we don't think about stopping. We think about now, this hour, this minute. We do what we can, save who we can, and we forgive ourselves for the ones we can't." How? How do you forgive yourself? "I don't." Mary's voice breaks. "I carry them, all of them, Sarah and Emma especially. The coin flip, the choice, I'll carry that forever. But I can't let it stop me from working, from saving the next person. If I stop, they died for nothing. So I keep going. Not because I'm strong, because stopping is worse." Williams looks at her, sees the truth, the broken woman underneath the competent nurse, the human underneath the uniform. "You're breaking apart," Williams says. "So are you. So is everyone. We all break. The question is whether we break and stop or break and keep going. Which are you doing?" "Both. I'm breaking and continuing, falling apart and functioning, dying and surviving, all at the same time. That's what war does. It doesn't kill you or spare you. It does both." Simultaneously, they sit together in the supply closet. 2 breaking nurses, 2 survivors, 2 women choosing to continue despite everything. After 5 minutes, they stand, return to work, because work is all they have, all that makes sense, all that matters. New casualties, a mother and daughter, different names, Helen and Rebecca, but the same situation, both dying, both needing surgery, one doctor, one table, one impossible choice. Mary sees them, recognizes the pattern, feels her stomach drop. Not again, please not again. But yes, again, and probably tomorrow, and every night after. The Blitz doesn't run out of tragedies. It manufactures them by the hundreds, by the thousands. Pemberton examines them both, looks at Mary. His face says, "I can't do this again. I can't choose." Mary understands, because she can't either, can't flip another coin, can't make another choice, can't play God again. "Save the daughter," Helen whispers. She's conscious, aware. "Save Rebecca, please. She's 9. She has her whole life. Save her." The mother chooses, removes the impossible burden from Mary and Pemberton, chooses her daughter's life over her own. This is love. This is what love does. Not grand gestures. Just this. Simple, terrible, beautiful sacrifice. Pemberton operates on Rebecca, repairs the damage, saves her life. Helen dies during the surgery, conscious until the end, watching her daughter survive, smiling despite the pain, grateful. Rebecca wakes up to find her mother dead, screams, collapses, breaks completely. Mary holds her. "She saved you. Your mother saved you. She chose your life. That's how much she loved you. I don't want to be saved. I want my mum." There's no answer to that. No comfort, no words that help. Mary just holds her, lets her scream, lets her cry, lets her break. Because sometimes that's all healing is. Holding someone while they shatter, being present while they fall apart, offering nothing but witness. The night continues, endless, infinite, crushing, more casualties, more surgeries, more impossible choices, more death, more survival, more everything. Mary loses count of patients, of treatments, of deaths. The numbers blur together, the faces blur. Only the work remains clear. Triage, treat, stabilize, comfort, move on, repeat. This is nursing during the Blitz. This is medicine during war. This is what it means to heal when the world is ending. Peter, the 12-year-old double amputee from last night, is still in the basement, recovering. Mary checks on him during a brief lull. Sister Mary? Yes, Peter? Yesterday, you said I'd find new dreams, different dreams. What if I can't? What if all I can think about is what I lost? Mary sits beside him, looks at this child because he's still a child despite everything, and sees herself, sees everyone in this basement, everyone in London, everyone in the world, all of them losing something, limbs, family, homes, lives, futures, dreams, all of it being taken by fire from the sky. Then you think about what you lost, Mary says. You grieve it. You let yourself be angry and sad and furious. You don't pretend it's fine. You don't pretend it doesn't matter. You feel all of it. And then, eventually, maybe not today or tomorrow or this month, but eventually, you wake up and realize you survived. That's not nothing. Surviving is something, and maybe that's enough to build on. Maybe surviving is the first new dream, and everything else comes after. Peter considers this. Have you lost things, Sister Mary? Yes, yes. What have you lost? Mary thinks. About Sarah and Emma, about her flat, about the city she knew, about the person she was before September 7th, about innocence and hope and the belief that life is fundamentally fair. Everything, she says quietly. I've lost everything that matters except this, the ability to help, to heal, to stay. That's all I have left, so that's what I do. Is it enough? I don't know, Peter. I honestly don't know, but it's all I have, so it has to be. Peter nods, understands, a 12-year-old boy understanding things no child should understand. This is what war does to children. Ages them, breaks them, forces wisdom before it's earned. It sounds again, the rising and falling note, survival. 2 nights, 2 survival. How many more? Mary stands. Every part of her body screams, every muscle, every bone, every cell. She's run on adrenaline for 48 hours. Now it's gone. Now there's only exhaustion. Around her, the basement stirs, people realizing they survived again, some celebrating, some crying, some just staring, different reactions, same relief. Pemberton approaches. He looks worse than yesterday, older, grayer, more broken. Second night totals, he says. 217 casualties treated, 53 deaths, 164 saved. Hospital took 2 more direct hits. West Wing unusable now. We're down to Ward A, Ward B, and the basement. How much longer can the building take this? I don't know. Maybe a few more nights. Maybe 1. Maybe it collapses tomorrow. And then? Then we work from the rubble, set up a field hospital in the courtyard, keep going however we can. Mary laughs. It comes out wrong, hysterical. Of course we do, because stopping isn't an option. No, it's not. They stand together. 2 exhausted medical professionals, 2 people who chose to stay. 2 survivors carrying the weight of everyone they couldn't save. See you tonight, Sister Fletcher. See you tonight, Doctor. They part, both knowing they'll be back, both hating it, both doing it anyway. Because that's what duty means. Showing up, especially when showing up is impossible.